How do you hold your power in the midst of chaos? How do you hold your power when your heart is breaking? How do you hold your power when you are in the pure darkness and the liminality and have no idea which way God is calling you to go? How do you still meet yourself there? That's power. That's truth. That's you. You, your essence, your voice, your mission, your magic, your medicine. That is something that nothing, no one, or no circumstance can ever take away. That is your power, right? But the trick here, or the initiation, or even just the invitation, is trying to figure out how you can lead yourself and how you can hold your power in the darkness, in the uncertainty, in the unknown, right? That's what it means to reclaim your power. That's what it means to come home to yourself. That's what it means to be self-led and self-sourced from within. Welcome back to the Shadow Priestess Embodied podcast. I'm your host, Kaylin Rakowski, and welcome back. Man, feels like a minute since I have dropped in to do a podcast. And, lately it's just been this calling. It's just been this nudge that I need to be using my voice and to be coming on here more and sharing more. And I've even had a few of you reach out and say, what the heck's going on? So here I am. Life has been lifing. I've been working on other projects, doing other things. And, something I will say is that when it is your calling, it's going to keep fucking calling you, right? You can distract yourself or fill yourself with other things. And there's always that red thread pulling you through, always guiding you back home. And it feels really good to come back and start devoting more time to the podcast. And to be honest, I've had this just message around power lately and really been contemplating, like, what is personal power? We see so many things in the new age society about reclaiming your power and stepping into your power. And, I feel like there's so much just fabricated around that, but what does it even really mean? And what are we even talking about when we're speaking about reclaiming your power? And man, I just feel like we're just going to dive in head first today. We're going to go hard, fast, and quick for a minute. I think for me, when I was sitting with this, if I had to simplify it, it would be that our power is directly correlated to our truth, to our core self, our authentic self, our just essence, right? That one of one spark of divinity that makes us us. And our sense of power really stems from how much of that we allow ourselves, to embody, to emanate, and to express in the world. And I just wrapped up a 14-month container with a private client who I love dearly. And when we were wrapping up, she was speaking to me and she said, you said something to me that will stick with me forever. And it's that most people believe that love and gratitude is the most powerful frequency in the universe. And you told me that it wasn't, that it's truth. And the reason behind this is that truth cuts through all illusion, all discord, all confusion in the body, in the mind, in the system, right? Truth is powerful. It's potent. And there's something just powerful that happens when you give yourself permission to fully be yourself in this world, right? To stop editing yourself, to stop filtering yourself, to, stop people pleasing. And there's just something inside of you that shifts when you really come back home to yourself, when you really come back to your voice, to your truth, to your mission, to just even your perspective on things. It's powerful. It's like this full body, soul turn on that gets to happen in the system when you allow yourself to take up space, to be seen, to claim your truth, and to fully just be yourself. And I don't know why. It's not the message that's coming to, it's not even just about fully claiming this. It's about being it so fucking unapologetically that you give other people permission to do the same. So when we're really talking about truth, or I mean about power. What we're talking about is the freedom to be yourself, right? Most people think that freedom is time freedom and it's money freedom and it's, insert blank. And with working with thousands and thousands of people, I will tell you that true freedom happens when you allow yourself to fully be yourself in this world. When you give yourself the permission to stop hiding, to stop shrinking, to stop people pleasing, to stop fawning, to stop trying to be what everybody else in the world wants you to be, and you let yourself be who you know yourself to be. Right? It's not about who you want to be. It's not about who you desire to be. It's about who do I know myself to be? And I'm using those words very intentionally here because when we're invoking know, the word knowing, we are inviting soul memory to come forward. So that's something I would love for you to sit with as well is who do I know myself to be? Because when you start calling those fragmented particles back to self, when you start awakening those codes deep within your body, there's the freedom that you long for. So just to recap, when we are talking about power, we are talking about truth, soul truth, authenticity. And that truly is the portal way into the fulfillment, the reality, just tapping into all of those feelings and sensations that you long for. They are directly correlated with how much of yourself you bring into the room, into your life, into your relationships, into your work, whatever it is, okay? And I'm realizing that when I'm speaking to this, it sounds simple, right? Like it seems pretty simple that, just be yourself, right? Everyone says, just be yourself, be yourself. Like just because it's simple doesn't mean that it isn't profound. And when we want to talk about then what keeps us from doing this, we can really look at the two strongest drivers in our human psyche, which are the desire for attachment and the desire for authenticity. And at an early age, we are so heavily programmed and conditioned, or, our traumas, whatever you want to even just throw into the mix, that shape us and program us into being something that we're not. Because we've learned that, if I behave this way, then this group of people will like me. And if I do this, then I get my parents' approval. And if I show up this way, then it makes my partner happy. So much of us are operating out of these borrowed identities or conditioned avatars that are not even close to the true energetic mechanics that we embody and that we carry in the body, right? You have to think when you come here on earth, right? You are already divinely coded with the unique gifts, characteristics, even the things that maybe you don't like about yourself, right? Everything is so divinely orchestrated and preordained on purpose to fulfill your mission, to be who you're destined to be, to create what you're destined to create. But so many of us fail to do so because we are so deeply programmed and conditioned and just far away from our truth, right? So coming back to it, this is why when I'm talking about power, I'm talking about it being connected to your truth and to your authenticity, because that is literally what you're coded for, right? You are divinely coded to operate and to show up in your truth and to share that unique expression with the world. And by doing so, the money, the opportunities, everything gets to happen as a byproduct of you fully being yourself in the world, right? But like I said, we have this driving factor for attachment. And at an early age, we've learned that it is safer for us to be attached or connected to the tribe than it is for us to be authentic. So it's easier for a lot of us to give up that desire to be ourselves and to be true to ourselves and to be authentic because, back hundreds of years ago, maybe even more than that now, if you were disconnected from the tribe, it literally meant death. It literally meant exile. It literally meant that you would not survive. So many of us have this deep desire for attachment and connection, being connected to our survival instinct, right? Where our sense of authenticity, our sense of truth, right? Our sense of power, we don't attach that with survival. So it doesn't have the same hierarchy or level of importance in the body or in the psyche. But the thing is that, we're at a time now where you don't have to be connected to the tribe to survive, right? We don't live in community the same way. We're not communal. We're not tribalistic. We, are very, very individualistic here, right? And I'm not saying that that's good, bad, right, or the other. That's a conversation for a different day, but it's just what's true right now. And it's interesting to see how much society has shifted and how much of us are still so incredibly terrified to show up and to be ourselves in this world, right? We believe that by me stepping into my power, by me stepping into my truth, by me being expressed, it means that I have to sacrifice or I have to lose connection, that I have to lose family, that I have to lose relationship. And for us, it's like we rather have these false attachments or connections to people than to fully be seen in our power. And we're getting to this point where there's such this desire for truth. There's such this desire, for sovereignty. And people keep trying to find it in places that aren't self-sourced and that aren't clean, like the energy isn't clean. And we look for power in relationship. We look for power in our job. We look for power in how much money we have in our relationships and our status and our title. Insert whatever you want to insert here. But whenever you're putting your power or your sense of worthiness or anything like that in something that is outside of you, then you have to also realize that it can be taken away just like that, right? If my sense of power and my sense of worthiness is in a title and a role, then what happens when you lose your job? What does that say about you? What's left? What if your sense of power only comes from the number of followers or zeros in your bank account? Then what happens when you're in a moment, when you lose it all? Right? What's left? And this is why we have to be really radically honest and truthful about what we are putting our power in, how we define our relationship with our power and to our power. What do we mean or make being powerful even mean? Right? Because what I see happen time and time again, and I am not innocent or scotch-free of this, is that when we put our power in things outside of ourselves, then when something happens and we lose that attachment or we lose that connection or we lose that resource in our lives, then you're left in shambles, right? You start doubting yourself, you start doubting your power, you start dropping your power, you start seeking outside validation, you start grasping for things, you start operating in a sense of survival, you start trying to do all these things to get something back that was never clean in the first place, right? It wasn't an authentic attachment. The energy wasn't clean, because the energy is clean when that thing can be taken away and you can still be firmly rooted in your power and know who you are and know your truth and know your gifts and know your majesty. Okay? And every time that we are chasing and seeking and grasping for these attachments and these external validations to give us power, we literally then disconnect from our power and our life force and our Shakti, right? So it's like this weird, like, inverse thing that's happening. It's like the more that I am seeking for power and grasping for power and attaching my power to things outside of me, I am then literally giving it away and siphoning it, okay? And what I really guide and walk my clients through is this concept of self-source safety, of really being self-sourced from within, where your sense of power, your recognition, your validation, your trust, your just everything is found in and is built on a foundation of things that can never be taken from you, right? Things that can never be taken from you is your truth, is your voice, is your magic, is your medicine. You have to think that you bring yourself everywhere, right? It wasn't that role that gave you power. You brought your power to the role. It wasn't that title that made you powerful. It was your unique energetic mechanics and essence that you were filtering in behind the title or the role, right? It wasn't this job. It wasn't the money in the bank. You literally are the foundation of your life. You are the power. You are the truth. And the more that you realize and you become so anchored and so self-sourced in this, you become somebody who is unshakable. You become somebody who is unshakable and who can go through the ebbs and the flows of life and not make it mean anything about you, right? You can lose a client, you can lose money, you can lose a title, you can whatever, a relationship, doesn't matter. And know that you are still magnificent and that you're still powerful. Because if you really grasp this idea of being self-sourced from within, of cultivating power from within, being led by something greater, then you understand that life is never happening to you, that everything is happening on purpose. And every time that we go through these obstacles or these portals of initiation, it is creating a different reference point in yourself and in your body to stand in your truth, to stand in your power, to find new channels and different avenues where you get to be a full emanation of this, where you get to express this unapologetically in the world. But if every time that, you lose something that you had an attachment to, maybe even it's an identity, right? And you get shaken up, you're losing your power. And the biggest thing that I see that keeps people from living the life that they truly desire to live is this constant drop in power. That every time life doesn't go the way that they think it should, or the way that they want it to go, or how they envisioned it, then they collapse. And if you constantly are collapsing in moments when you are asking to deeper anchor and stand in your truth and your power, then you're never going to be given more leadership, more responsibility, more eyes on you, because you can't hold it. You can't hold it. So much about being initiated into your power is about being initiated in circumstances and obstacles and problems that try to do everything to strip it away and bring you to your knees. That's how you expand your capacity in the body to hold your power, to be in your truth, right? That's what it means to be self-sourced from within, to be self-led. It's not just about how you hold your power and how you hold the visibility and how you hold the leadership when things are going well. But how do you hold it when everything that you once believed was true, or who you know yourself to be, and everything that you had an attachment to gets stripped away? Right? Attachments are energetic anchors that will tank you every single time. How can you be so validated and recognized in yourself that you become unbreakable, that you become unshakable? That life can be lifing and throwing you curveball after curveball, and you don't make it mean anything about you. How do you hold your power in the midst of chaos? How do you hold your power when your heart is breaking? How do you hold your power when you are in the pure darkness and the liminality and have no idea which way God is calling you to go? How do you still meet yourself there? That's power. That's truth. That's you. You, your essence, your voice, your mission, your magic, your medicine. That is something that nothing, no one, or no circumstance can ever take away. That is your power, right? But the trick here, or the initiation, or even just the invitation, is trying to figure out how you can lead yourself and how you can hold your power in the darkness, in the uncertainty, in the unknown, right? That's what it means to reclaim your power. That's what it means to come home to yourself. That's what it means to be self-led and self-sourced from within. When the world can literally be burning down around you and you're unshakable in your trust, in your resiliency, in your truth, in your voice, in your knowing, of who you are in your relationship with God. That's power. When you can be stripped away from everything that you find a sense of safety in, a sense of illusion in, a sense of validation, worthiness in, and you can still see yourself, and you can still hold yourself, and you can still show up. That's power. Right? You want to be powerful. You want to be magnetic. You want to be free. Start speaking truth. Start emanating truth. Even when your voice shakes, even when your knees are trembling, even when no one else agrees with you. Can you be true to yourself? Can you be true to who you are? That's power. So many times people come to me, women, they want to redefine their relationship with their truth. They want to be magnetic. First, it's a complete deconditioning. It's a dismantling of all the false identities, avatars, beliefs, behaviors, all the things that you are doing every day that's never really you. It was never really you in the first place. When you start letting that soul, that fire, that inner Shakti take up space, take up room to be seen, to be felt, that's how you refine your power. That's how you recalibrate to your truth. That's how you awaken your deep feminine muse and magic. Right? Your power is directly correlated to your truth. Truth is the most powerful frequency on this planet. Cuts through all illusion, all discord, all confusion. You want to be powerful? Start with being truthful, because the truth will set you free. I love you, babe.